Okay, all right. Now, I think you just mentioned about the domestic scenario relating to the international scenario that's going on right now. Edith, being an international financial group, would also like to know, quickly, just tell me about the current anxiety points, the leverage points that the global scenario is facing, the fund managers are facing in the global perspective.
Hmm. For the fund managers, indeed, they are really facing a very big challenge recently, as it is not easy to raise money.
Right.
We see many of the investors are very conservative in their investments, particularly for those funds that are being more long-term, for those that are having a couple of years of maturity, where they are very, very difficult in raising monies. And another key problem is we see that the recent performance of many funds are not that satisfactory, and many of them are dropped a lot and even default, which makes many of the fund managers are being sued because of the poor performance or the default of their respective funds. And another very key point is many of the investments, particularly for the long-term investments of respective funds, at the time of exit, say during IPO, we see that the IPO market is also very weak generally over the globe. And many of the IPO, when they are, say, trading in the first day, they drop below the IPO price, which makes the fund managers are not very, say, good in terms of the overall performances and also the track record in attracting, say, additional monies for the funds. Therefore, particularly in Asia, we see that a couple of funds are closing down as well because they can't raise money, or because they have many of the market effect, as I've just mentioned about. So this is something which I see recently being quite, say, challenging for the market. But I anticipate this is something being short term, and in the long term, I would see that now we are at the bottom of the market, and there are many attractive and also cheap assets that we are able to invest into, and therefore some of the investors, we also see that they are getting more aggressive recently, or not in terms of aggressive, as I said, but in terms of more open in looking into investment opportunities and participate in some of the funds. Just like the Hong Kong Hang Seng Index is dropped a lot, and many of the pre-IPO projects, the issuers are getting more realistic in lowering their prices when attracting investors. So it's a kind of a supply and demand issue, which I would say that the market is picking up, and the fund businesses and the fund managers are, say, already at the bottom of the market, and they should be having a good future going forward.
Right.